Hi everyone, today I wanted to talk to you about my HoboBe, and this is in the lovely Space Place print, which if you've seen some of my other videos you might know is a bit of a favourite of mine. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because I have my HoboBe packed for two older children, not for a baby or for a toddler, but for a 6-year-old and a 4.5-year-old. So I wanted to show you how good it is for that kind of age group. And also because I pack it using Travelon cubes, and I know a lot of people don't use cubes or pouches in their HoboBe. So I'll explain why mine's packed like that a little bit as I go through it. The HoboBe is sold as a diaper bag, so it does normally come with a changing pad. In the case of the HoboBe, a light changing pad, so no memory foam in it. So my one has been put away somewhere else for now. So if we start with the outside, on the front you have two zip pockets. There's a short zip pocket in the back and a longer one in the front. In the front you have a key fob, so it's got my keys. There's space down at the front for me to put quite a long wallet. This is a really gorgeous pink lining one. I love these little deer and this owl in the tree. There are two mesh pockets in here. In one I have my travel card in a really cute holder from Paper Chase. And in the other I have a small set piece in Queen Bee. And I just keep all of my mummy needs in there. So I have a travel perfume, a lip gloss, a hairbrush, some panty liners, blotting pads, nail files, hair ties, plasters, eye drops. There's even a contact lens in there somewhere. So everything I could need. And this is a bit like why I have travel cubes in here. I like to be able to move this pouch from bag to bag depending on which one I'm using on any given day. The last thing in the front of this bag then is a long zip pocket, and in here I have a little pill case. It's a really cute one. I get a lot of migraines, so I always travel with painkillers, and I always zip them into a zippered pocket on a HGB bag just to make it a little bit harder for my children to reach and so a little bit safer. In the next one back, this is your tech pocket, so it's got this lovely soft lining. I only have an iPhone 4 and it fits in with loads of space. You could easily get a much bigger phone in there. And I then also have in this pocket mints and a lip balm, just because they're easier to reach out of there. On the side pockets you have the typical HoboBe insulated bottle pockets. This one on this side on all my HoboBe bags is where I keep my hand wash and my hand cream. On the back then is the pocket where your changing pad would be if you were going to use one. It's a snap pocket, and in there I keep a wet bag. This is just in case I've got my boys out and they've been jumping in puddles or things like that. They've got muddy socks or muddy trouser bottoms, then I can just put them in here. On this side I always like to keep an extra bag just in case we pick something up. I used to have a little shopping tote, but I found these in Decathlon the other week and they turn into a little rucksack, and they're fantastic because if you've got a shoulder bag it's actually quite useful to have a rucksack instead rather than a second shoulder bag. This was about £1.50 or £2, so really reasonably priced. I really recommend them. Also attached on this side I have my Passy Pod. This is not permanently on this bag, it goes on when I need to carry something. So that might be because we've decided to take out some little Lego figures and pieces, or we might have something in particular that we need to carry, some cars, I don't know what it might be. In this case, as it's autumn and we're approaching coughs and cold seasons, I have in here a little Ziploc with some nose nuzzles. Now if you've ever watched any American packing videos, you might hear the mums on that talking about something called boogie wipes. Nose nuzzles are what you can get in England instead. They're made by Jackson Reese. These are genuinely fantastic, especially if they've reached that point in the cold where their nose is all red and sore and they really don't like it being wiped with a tissue. These are really gentle. They're much gentler than a baby wipe. They're not as stingy, and I really recommend them. The reason mine are in a little Ziploc is I actually think they're massive. They're far too big for a small nose. So although it's a little bit of extra hassle, I cut mine into 4s, and then actually these are then folded in half again. So this is the 1/8 of a size of a wipe. So you can imagine how big the wipes are. So I cut them into 4s, I put them in a Ziploc so they don't dry out, and then I put the packet in a bigger Ziploc, and then I just store them somewhere handily where I can grab them and they're not going to get lost in the bag. So one of my children in particular tends to suffer with a sore nose when he has a cold, and they're just brilliant for that. Okay, so before we go inside, just really quickly, I have seen some people say that they don't like the strap on the HoboBe because it doesn't twist, and so they find it gets twisted. Actually, I don't know if it's because all my metalware is right down on the ends, because I'm quite tall, so I do have my strap very long, but these straps never twist for me, and I find them really comfortable to wear. They're lightly padded the whole way down, and then they have this really nice padded shoulder pad in the middle. Okay, so inside, there we go, you can see straight away my Travelon packing cubes. This is my standard setup for this bag. And so in the middle, and that's what I'm going to start with, I have a large Travelon packing cube. And in here I can fit a full set of clothing for my 6-year-old and for my 4-year-old. So they have a t-shirt, a pair of pyjama bottoms, and a pair of underpants. I saw an American mum recommend using pyjama bottoms instead of trousers as spare clothing, and I think it's a great idea. They're so much lighter, they fold up so much smaller. So they have one set each, like that, and then in the back there's a little mesh pocket, and that's where I keep socks. Now the reason I have these in cubes, like I said, is so that I could take them out and put them in another bag. So if we're going out for a much longer day and I want to take my Be Right Back, they can go into that. It also means that, say for example, they're out doing a sport or they're doing dance or something, I can actually fit the full kit for both of them into one Be Quick. Be Quicks are actually pretty large. This one I think has got all their dance kit in it, so I've got 2 pairs of shoes, t-shirts, shorts and dance socks for both of them. And I can just trade out that spare clothes bag for the Dance Quick. If we're, say, going to swimming lessons and I'm therefore carrying a wet bag with all their swimming gear in it, not obviously if we're talking like a full day at the beach, then I would have spare clothes as well, but I would also have a different bag. But just for lessons or something, I swap it out and instead I put in my large set piece, which is my knitting kit, and then I've got something to do while they're in their lessons. So that's one of the reasons why I use these pouches. It just makes it so easy to get things in and out and into other bags. So I had that large packing cube in the middle. I also have a Huggy Style & Go wipes case. The reason for this is where they're bigger now, I do not need a full packet of wipes. So I can just pack a thin pad of wipes in here and take what I need. And we do need them occasionally. I also have this fantastic travel size Where's Wally. They've just discovered this and they love it. If we're going on the train or on the tube, this keeps them occupied for the whole journey. And I also just have a reading book, something for me to read to them. And I like these ones because they have things that they can practice their reading with as well. They have simpler bits and games at the end. It's about right for my youngest, who's just gone into reception and is learning to read. My oldest doesn't find it that difficult, so I find words for him to read in the proper text instead. The last thing I have loose in the middle is another small set piece, and in here I have our story cubes. I've actually got 3 sets in here, one full large set, which is the standard ones, these brown ones, and then I have 2 of these mini sets, the intergalactic one, so sort of space monsters and rockets and things, and the prehistoric set. And as you can see, there is loads of space left in there. I could probably get some playing cards in or another game like this. So this is actually brilliant. So if you've got older children who need less actual toys to keep them entertained, a small set piece makes a great little play kit. So everything else in here is then in the internal storage. In the front mesh pocket is where I keep things like wipes and tissues. So I have normal tissues, I have hand and face wipes, and I have a packet of wet ones. My husband really laughs at me for my wipes overkill, and I do understand where he's coming from, but when we've needed them, it's been absolutely fantastic to have this kind of range of stuff, which even he admits. So it is overkill, but it's worth it in my opinion. There's then this front zip bag, and in this I haven't emptied since before I was pregnant, and you can tell because it's got a little tin with some pads in, and it's got a couple of Tampax. And I normally keep those in a zip back pouch somewhere, zip pocket somewhere in my jujubes. Don't really need them right now. This then, which fits really nicely in one of the mesh pockets, is the medium Travelon packing cube, and I use this one for snacks. At the moment it's not full, you can get a lot more in here. So I have 2 fruit puree packets, 1 Bear Paws packet, and 1 pack of Belvita breakfast biscuits. I can also get in here, on top of all of this, a couple of packets of mini cheddars, a couple of Nature Valley oat bars and some of those naked fruit and nut nibbles. So you can really fill this with snacks. It's amazing. And again, this just means that if I'm swapping to a bigger bag, I just grab my snack pouch and go. The last thing in internal storage, and it fits again really beautifully in those pouches, is my first aid kit. And so this obviously moves with the bags. I do have quite a thorough first aid kit, I will admit that. It has got pretty much everything you can think of, including steri strips. I have big gauze pads, I have wound cleansing wipes, I have loads of plasters, I have saline tubes for cleaning eyes or wounds. Oh, I have these are fantastic. I got them in France. They look like earbuds, but they're filled with an antiseptic liquid. So if you break along the red line on the top one, it comes down and floods the bottom, and then you can just use it to sort of dab their wound and clean it. And they're really handy. I have tweezers and scissors and a thermometer. I have tape. I have arnica cream, antiseptic cream, antihistamine cream, all kinds of creams. I have some little stickers to give them to cheer them up. So it's a very, very thorough med kit. I think the only thing I don't have in here actually is a proper bandage. Although thinking about it, there might actually be one in the bag anyway. We'll find out in a minute. So that's my very, very thorough med kit. But actually, as you can see, it fits into quite a compact cube. And I love this as well because you can see through it. So there's no doubt that this is the med kit. So if I ask any other adult to grab it out, it's really obvious what it is. The last pocket in here then is a long zipper pocket inside the main compartment. And I just keep a few bits and pieces, including a bandage. I was pretty sure I had one. I keep a couple of these packs of collectible cards for them just because they love them. So if we're stuck somewhere, if we were at the doctor's, these can be really useful. Actually, I could probably put those in the small set piece now with the cubes. I keep a travel size sun cream, although we probably don't need it now at this time of year. And likewise, probably also don't need this anymore. This is a natural stick for putting on bites. It's like a little rollerball. And it's just got sort of natural oils in it. It's got citronella, it's got, that looks like geranium oil, it's got lavender, all these Latin names that I don't actually recognise, seed oils and things like that. I was really sceptical about it, but actually it does seem to work really well. So if you get bitten by anything or stung, you rub it on and it really takes the sting and the itch out. So I love that as well for the summer. Okay, so that is my HoboBe packed up for my two big kids, and you can see how I can swap things in and out as I need them. If you've got any questions at all, please post them below, and thank you very much for watching. But I really recommend this HoboBe for bigger kids, where you're not needing to take tons and tons of stuff, but you can definitely get a good size minimum in there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.